Hey boxing fans, how y'all doing? It's me, the boxing fanatic. Um, just wanted to give my thoughts on a couple things on boxing YouTube, Tank Davis, and Terrence Crawford haters. First of all, I want to say that these YouTube channels, a lot of them, they they say they're the reason why boxing has grown, but in my opinion, they're also the reason why we have these weird ass fans because they promote uh, the logic that creates these retardeds. And I don't mean that, I don't want to say retarded. Let me say uh, less than desirable fans. I was a big Bud Crawford fan. I was all in the comments cheering them on. But at the end of the day, after the fight, even during the fight, I felt sorry for Spence because I think he's a great fighter, a great talent. But I always thought Bud was better. I thought, like Bud said, a lot of times you had to respect the business of boxing. That I thought he was freezing him out, but from a business standpoint, like he said, he understood it. I understand it as well. However, what I didn't understand was the so-called YouTube fans and why they constantly try to put Bud down and create a narrative and try to make him look bad. And it was the worst thing I ever saw. I watched all the boxing as much as I can, and I watch a lot of Earl Spence fights, mostly all of them. And I figured he was tailor-made for Crawford. I felt that he did get hurt in fights, and these YouTube channels were saying like he never got hurt in fights, and it was clear he got hurt in fights, like any fighter can get hurt in a fight during the fight. I thought he recovered quickly though. I thought he was because I seen him get hurt and recover quickly, and go on to destroy his opponents. And so I thought he was a good fighter. I just didn't believe that he could beat Terrence Bud Crawford. I believe that Terrence Crawford was more skilled. I thought he would take advantage of some of the weaknesses I saw in Earl Spence's game, and he did for the most part. And all we came up with, it's just like when Crawford fought Porter. Everybody said this would be his biggest test. Oh, this is a test. This is a test. We'll give him credit. We'll give him credit. After he beat Porter, they didn't give him the credit. They talked bad about him some more. Then when he fought Spence, like I said, I thought they would give him credit. Some channels have given him some credit, but even then they try to do it with taking away credit from him. He beat the man, and it wasn't all these issues that they try to give him. You could clearly see he fought him the way he fought any other time. He was aggressive, and that didn't work. And when he got hurt, he didn't recover, and they wanted to make excuses for why he didn't recover. And I can't tell you exactly why he didn't recover. I'm not in his body. But it appeared to me that he didn't have an answer. He tried to come back, and being that he tried to come back from getting hurt in that second round, he was hit with more shots, and he never had the opportunity to recover because he kept getting hit with a lot of big shots. But nevertheless, I thought he was a warrior. I thought that Errol Spence never quit. I thought that the corner should have thrown in the towel because I believe that sometimes that the corner has to protect the fighter from himself. Because as a man, you don't want to give up. I've seen guys in street fights take horrible ass whippers, but somebody has to break it up because they won't quit. They won't quit. And I've been on the other end of that. I've had fights where, a guy is beating the brakes off me, and in my mind, I'm thinking, won't somebody stop this? But I'm going to keep fighting. I'm going to keep protecting myself. I'm going to keep defending myself, and my pride is going to keep pushing me forward. And I just feel like Errol Spence is a warrior. Even though he lost the fight, one-sided ass whooping, I still respect him. And like a lot of people said, the man made $30 million. This is his career, and he's a prize fighter. And what he fights for legacy, but he also fights to make money. And he made, generational wealth building money. And so, in that course, he's not a loser. He's a winner. He's always going to be a winner because he did accomplish a lot in the sport of boxing. But, like I said, I've always been a Terrence Crawford fan. And I just feel like the treatment the YouTubers give him, a lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of these channels, is just pure hate. And I don't know why they hate this man so much. And it's unfair in their treatment of him and the way they speak about him. Also, I wanted to speak on Tank Davis. I am a huge Tank Davis fan. However, I feel that he is fighting fights that we know he will win. I won a lot of money on Tank, and from that perspective, I'm happy. I don't know how Rolly fooled people into thinking that he could win the fight. I don't know why Ryan Garcia was able to fool people to think that he could win the fight. Any true boxing fans knew that neither one of these guys had a chance at beating. Let me rephrase that. They probably had a puncher's chance because anybody can maybe hit off a lucky blow. But skill-wise, a skill set, we knew that the chances of them winning this fight was slim to none. I bet on these both fights in FanDuel and made a good money. Wish I would have bet more. Same on the Terrence Crawford fight. Wish I would have bet more. And I've been pretty good at my picks. And I want to start sharing my picks on this channel and fights because I think that, you know, a lot of people, you know, they think that you lose. And I think boxing is probably one of the easiest sports to bet on when you really look at it and you watch the fights and you take time out to really watch a fighter. Like they say, styles make fights, and if you watch certain styles, it's like almost impossible for guys to overcome. You know, there's always going to be the rare case, an individual just has the will and determination to overcome all, you know, odds that's stacked against them. But in most cases, you know, styles make fights, and if you watch the style of fighting and you watch the two fighters, you can tell by their styles how the fight is going to end. You know, but I'm starting to get this channel up, and I'm looking forward to giving more content. I want to do some film study on my content. I want to start doing lives, and I want to start sharing with the people, I think, what I would consider my most unbiased opinion I can give. I know that everybody has some biasness, but I want to give an opinion based on facts and not just how much I like a fighter or dislike a fighter. You know, I don't like Jermell Charlo's attitude, but I think he's an excellent fighter. You know, I don't think he can beat Canelo, but I could be wrong. But I'm going to bet my money on Canelo. I think that Charlo will give him some trouble, but I think Canelo's going to be too much. I still think Canelo still has some gas in the tank. I know a lot of people like to say he's slowing down and that he's beatable, which I think any fighter is probably beatable. Even though I think Terrence Crawford is pound for pound the #1 fighter, and right now I don't think nobody he could bet against him. Doesn't mean that he can't lose. I mean that I think it's hard. You'd be hard pressed to bet against him in a fight. And but back to Jermell Charlo and Canelo. I think Jermell Charlo does have the ability to maybe outbox Canelo, but I think he's gonna catch up to him and knock him out. You know, I used to weightlift a lot, and I'm trying to get back into it. I've been a little, you know, working a lot and had kind of fell off, but I'm trying to get back into it. But I wanted to explain it to people that when I used to work out, I might be 168 pounds, and another guy has been at 168 pounds a longer time working out. His muscles a lot of times are stronger than me when I reach 168, because he's been there, he's been working out at that weight for a long time, and his strength builds. Where a guy who just might have gotten to the weight of 168 pounds, he's working out and he's still not quite as strong as the other guy, even though he might be 168 pounds and appears to have bigger muscles. Because a lot of times your muscles, the way they are defined, is genetics. You know, a lot of people don't realize that. It's not always the hardest work. I know some guys that they touch a weight and boom, they're ripped. And other guys, they're not so ripped, but very, very strong. So, in closing, I just want to say that I need Tank Davis to fight the best competition in his division. I love Tank Davis. I know I jumped around a little bit, but you know, I want to say that in closing about Tank Davis. I love Tank Davis as a fighter. He's exciting. He's very skillful, but I want to see him against the best. And I don't like the way Leonard Ellaby tries to say, oh, these other fighters got to raise their profile and Tank is not taking a pay cut. If he's such a big star, he's going to make money regardless. And to make more money, I think you need a better opponent. So I guess the better opponent, the bigger the fights, the more money he's gonna make. So I don't know. I don't understand this thing about him taking a pay cut. It's not about taking a pay cut. It's about creating the biggest fights and him being that level of a star. He has about 5 million followers on Instagram, almost 6 million. Him being that level of a star, like Canelo, guys make money fighting Canelo. And they don't, and nobody complains about how much money they're gonna make against fighting Canelo. They never say these things about the fights with Canelo. If anything, the guys just don't get to fight with Canelo. But anybody who has gotten a fight with Canelo has never complained about getting paid. And if Gervonta is the face of boxing, he's a star of the magnitude of Canelo, as some YouTubers would have us believe, then why would we think anything less? Why can't fighters fight Gervonta, make a boatload of money like any other fighter that fights Canelo, and Canelo makes what he makes, and we know it's always more than the other fighter. But Leonard Ellerbe is avoiding fights for Tank Davis. Fights that I believe he can win. But they're protecting their brand. And I'm sorry, I know a lot of people won't like that. They don't want to agree with it, but it's true. He fights nothing, mostly 90% of the guys are Mexican. I haven't seen him fight a black fighter. I think all of them. I think it's 100% Mexican. He doesn't fight black fighters. And there are a lot of good fighters that he can fight. And we need to see these fights. We need to see Tank Davis in the biggest fights. He needs legacy as well. He doesn't need only money. You want to see the greats fight the greats. I miss the days of Sugar Ray Leonard and Duran and Hagler and Vernon Forrest and Sweet Pea Whitaker and even Oscar De La Hoya. Even though he might have fought a lot of fighters late in his career, he fought everyone. Say what you want to say about him, but he gave everyone a chance. He took a lot of losses, and he also had some wins. But we enjoyed those fights. We love seeing those fights. And we need to go back to those times so that boxing can be the sport that we need and love and talk and have conversations. And I respect fighters win or lose or draw. Like they said, styles make fights. Some fighters are going to take losses. Some fighters are going to win fights. And, it's just the best thing for boxing. It's a way to grow boxing. And, with that, I'm out. Peace.